Want to mix up your half moon pose or gain even more strength or learn some dynamic transitions to get you even more confident in your half moon pose? In today's class, I'll teach you some really fun variations like revolved half moon and also some transitional poses as well to help you build your own yoga flow with half moons in. These poses help to build strength, stability and flexibility, and they also help to improve your half moon pose too. These poses are designed for everybody, but if you feel like you need a yoga block or any props, that's absolutely fine. Let's unlock all the potential of half moon pose or Ardha Chandrasana together. All of these variations you can try no matter what ability you are, but it is really important that you're staying really safe as you're practicing, especially as all of these variations are balancing postures. You want to make sure that you're using a good quality yoga mat if you can. A good quality yoga mat will grip nicely to a hardwood floor, and it also will mean that your hands will grip nicely onto the mat as well. And this just helps you because you're less likely to slip when you're on the mat, or the mat is less likely to slip from underneath you. So I always like to recommend working with a really good quality yoga mat. And also if you're brand new to yoga, or if your hamstrings maybe aren't very flexible, maybe your balance isn't quite there at the moment, using a block. You can use blocks, you can use two, you can use stools, you can use chairs, something that's going to give you a little bit of height. So for your bottom hand in all of these variations, you can kind of use these things to help you. Props are never something that you should feel bad about using. They're brilliant because they help you to strengthen the correct muscles to be able to do the pose properly. It's always better to do the pose correctly with props, because you'll be using the correct muscles to eventually take those props away, than to practice it incorrectly without props. So if you feel like you need them, go and grab them, absolutely fine. We're going to start our first couple of half moon variations onto the knees. There's two different ways that you can practice this first one. We're going to start with the knees facing forwards, hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath your hips. We're going to start by kicking out the right foot towards the right hand side, keeping the right hand where it is. Start to take the left leg out and maybe lift up the left arm. So this is your gate pose, but it's also the same position that we want to be in when we come into our half moon pose. So when you're in your half moon, you want to be pushing up from your bottom shoulder, spreading through your fingertips and pushing the floor and the mat away from you, really using the muscles in your shoulder. Your belly button should be facing the long edge of the mat, your hip up towards the ceiling. We're then flexing the bottom toes, lifting that leg up and maybe bringing up the top arm as well. So this is the first way that you can practice this, but you can also do this with your knee facing the other way. So it's coming more into the same position as your half moon. If your hips don't move very easily when you come into your half moon, if you struggle with that rotation to lift the hip up towards the ceiling, I would stick to that way that we've just done. But if you're working on that rotation more, or if you're able to do it, you can always do it this way. So your hands are underneath your shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. Now, instead of kicking your left foot this time out towards the left to come into your gate pose, we're going to keep the left knee or the left foot as it is. So the foot is facing backwards. Make sure you're keeping the left hand underneath your shoulder and lifting up the right leg, flexing through the toes. So this is very similar to how you come into your half moon. It works onto your balance a lot more. Make sure you're spreading through the bottom hand, using your muscles here, using your leg muscles, breathing here. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and slowly come down. So that does make it a lot harder. It does work on your balance a lot more. So if you're maybe not confident on the leg, but you want to work on your balance, do it that way instead of kicking out the bottom leg. So obviously, just when that bottom leg is kicked out, it helps a little bit more with balance. We can then come into our revolved half moon here, but again onto the knees. So let's do the right leg to begin with. Hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. Now, usually we would lift up the left leg and lift up the left arm to come into your half moon. But we're swapping this over this time. We're lifting up the left leg, flexing through the toes, but we're lifting up the right arm this time and starting to twist over towards the right. The idea here is to use your muscles, so use your glutes, keep that left leg activated, and to squeeze your shoulder back. Coming back down, we'll do the same the other way. Lifting up the right leg this time, flexing through the toes, and instead of lifting up the right arm, we're going to lift up the left arm to come into your revolved half moon. I find this very challenging. I can feel this in my lower back. Squeeze your top shoulder, squeeze your glute, and bring it all down. Maybe rock the hips from side to side here. So those are a couple of variations you can do. If you're a beginner to yoga, even if you're not quite there in your half moon yet, work on these variations and they'll help you to get stronger. From here, we're going to start to focus on a drill, which is going to strengthen up into your legs and your hip. You can use a block here if you want to. You can use a stool, whatever feels best for you. So we're placing the feet hip width apart, toes facing forward. The right hand is coming onto the block. We're coming up into our half moon pose here, pushing through the bottom hand. We'll then bend into the knee, bring the hips forwards, and lifting up again. So you can do this a few times. You're working on your balance. You're working on your feet strength here, your ankle strength, because you're actually moving in this posture or in this movement. So you're working your leg muscles more. If you're feeling confident with the block, maybe try taking that block away. Same thing again, hands come down into your half moon. And then we're bending the back knee to bring knee to knee and lifting back up again. Knee comes into knee and rotate the hip up and come out. So in your half moon, into your Shiva squat variation and back up. Shiva squat variation and then back up. Maybe give those legs a little jiggle after that. And feel free to pause the video here if you want to do a few more on each side to really strengthen up through the legs. This is a drill that I find is really good at working my hips and I find that this is a really good drill for working on my hip flexor muscles to really strengthen them. It's really good because you're constantly moving that hip out and forwards, up and forwards. So you're getting that good rotation in there. You could also, I guess, do that from your hands and knees as well. So you could always come into your variation in your gate pose with the leg up and kind of twist in and up. But I do think that it's harder to get the full movement into your hip. But if you're really not feeling confident onto the leg or standing, you can always do it on your knees. From here, we're going to come into our Parivrtta Ardha Chandrasana, which is your revolved half moon pose. Again, you can use a block here if you want to. We've already done a revolved half moon on our hands and knees, but this time we're doing it from standing. Feet are hip width apart with your toes facing forwards. Hands come down into the mat or onto your block, and we're lifting up the back leg into your 90-degree angle. Instead of lifting up the same arm as leg, we're lifting the opposite one this time. So in my case, I'm lifting up my right leg, and instead of lifting the right arm, I'm going to lift the left arm to come into your revolved half moon. Squeeze your shoulder, lift the bottom leg up, hold, 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 bring it back in. We'll do the same on the other side. If you feel like you need a block again, feel free. So this time, we're going to take the left leg up. And instead of lifting that left arm, we're going to lift up the right arm. Hold, hold, hold. Flex the back foot, squeeze the shoulder, and slowly take it back down. Maybe wriggle out the legs here. Like I said, you can always use blocks, stools, whatever you want for that pose. The next pose we're going to come into is a half moon, but potentially floating the bottom arm. So we're starting to get into a little bit more of an advanced posture here, and this will work on your core muscles, especially your outer core muscles, and it's going to work on your balance even more. So take it really slowly here. Maybe you can start off with your blocks, and again, have these as high as you want. Come into your half moon pose, so feet are hip width apart. Your hands come down into the mat, lifting up the back leg, and start to lift up the top arm. Now what you can do here is maybe just start to hover the bottom hand and place it back down. Maybe just lift and lower, lift and lower. Maybe try that a few times, and then you can maybe take one block away. Maybe you can get to the point where you can take both of your blocks away. So your hands are down into the mat. We're coming into that half moon, lifting up nice and tall here, pushing through your bottom hands. Start to squeeze through your core and maybe start to hover up the bottom hand. Use your muscles in your hip to lift that bottom leg up even higher and slowly come down. Bend into one knee and then the other. From here, I'm going to show you a few transitional variations that you can use. So you can use the variations I've just shown you in vinyasa flows for transitions, but these two poses are ones I really like to use when I'm doing flows. They're really good to kind of take that half moon one step further. We're going to start with sugar cane. Again, you can use blocks if you want to here. So if you're not comfortable being onto your standing leg, instead of doing a sugar cane pose, think about a tiger pose. I do have a breakdown for tiger pose on my channel, which you can have a little look. I will pop it above, you can follow that, and that will get you a little bit more strength into that tiger pose. However, if you do feel good standing, we're going to come into our sugar cane. You can use a block for this, you can pop it in front of you, or you can do this without a block, whatever feels best for you. Use props if you feel like you need to. The hands are coming down and we're lifting up the left leg. We're coming into our half moon, so we're lifting up the left arm, and we're going to bend into that left knee and see if you can grab hold of the left foot with the left hand. Start to kick into the hand to come into your sugar cane. Breathing here, push through your bottom hand, keep lifting, and then maybe start to take this into your full moon pose. So when you're coming into your sugar cane, you're thinking about lifting or kicking into the hand and lifting up towards the ceiling. When you come into your full moon, we're starting to push into the hand still, but we're moving that hip out to the side. So it's almost like when you're coming into your sugar cane, you're creating a circle this way. And when you come into your full moon pose, you're creating a circle this way. So if this is my hand and my foot here meeting, in your sugar cane, they're meeting up like this. I feel like that's not good. You can't see. But in your full moon, you're then moving it round. So we're moving where the circle is facing. So you can do this onto the other side as well. Again, using blocks. Hands can come down, lifting up, coming into your half moon pose, bending into the right knee, grabbing hold of the foot, pushing up. So think about lifting up towards the ceiling here, and this is going to take you into your sugar cane, and then start to roll the circle back to come into your full moon. If you're really struggling in this full moon pose, you can do this on your knees. And I find that full moon is a really good pose to practice on your knees first, especially if you're really struggling to get it, or if you're not quite at a half moon yet. I wouldn't suggest doing full moon pose until you feel really confident in your half moon pose. But if you want to practice, we're going to come into that gate pose. So your knees are down, your hand is down into the floor. So let's take the right hand down and make sure that bottom hand is directly below your shoulder. We're going to take the left leg out to the side and lift up the leg. Your left hand is coming up by your ear, and then start to take the arm back and behind, bending into the left foot and kicking into the hand. So we're not trying to bring the hand and the foot up towards the ceiling. We're keeping them back and behind. It's like we're pushing the hips forwards and the belly forwards and tipping over so that the hand and the foot are in line or facing the back wall. You can gaze up, down, whatever feels best for you. We'll do the same on the other side to make sure we're nice and even. So making sure that your knees are down into the mat. Left hand is coming underneath the left shoulder this time, and the right hand comes out to the side. Flexing the bottom foot here, and then we'll bring in the right arm up towards the ceiling. Bending into the right knee, taking the right arm back and behind to grab hold of the foot. Start to kick into the hand, and imagine you're trying to kick behind you into the hand rather than up towards the ceiling. So imagine you're kicking into the back wall. Breathe here, push through your bottom hand, push your hips forwards, lifting up tall. Take a deep breath in and exhale to come out. Take a second here to breathe. Bring the heart rate back, bring the breath back, shake the shoulders out, coming back to reality. After exploring all of these half moon pose variations, you should be feeling a lot stronger and a lot more confident in your half moons and other transitions as well. And you're probably wondering where you can go from here. Follow the next video to go through a dynamic flow with the half moon pose, demonstrating different ways and transitions to get into the pose. I'll see you there. Bye.